Hi, I'm Nicole Kelley. I'm a USA Today bestselling author, and I write paranormal romance, urban fantasy, and we'll be focusing on some fantasy later this year.
Hi there, my name is Alex H. Singh. I am from Toronto, Ontario. I read a variety of genres. My favorite genre right now is fantasy. And here's the next person.
Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth Knox. I am an international bestselling author and I write mainly romantic suspense, but I also dabble in the paranormal.
Hey guys, I'm Jenna Gray, USA Today bestselling author. I write paranormal, urban fantasy, anything like that. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And we are four different authors from four different parts of the world. We have a lot of different wakes of life right now. We all have different experiences. So we are here to talk about a variety of topics. Obviously, we have our own opinions.
We're going to have to stop again.
No, we don't have to cut this off. It's okay if they see us normal.
Okay.
We're human too. It's okay.
All right.
Okay, sorry about the technical difficulty, guys. Things happen. So, as I was saying, four different people from four different wakes of life. We are all authors. We all have different opinions. So, we're going to talk about them because we think it's important to talk about this because no one else has done this. So, we're going to do it for you. We're all going to do it for you. We will do it. First topic of the night: movies and TV shows that are adapted from books that we've read.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk about, we're each going to talk about, our favorite movies and where they were adapted from. And did we like them? Were they like the books? Should they be like the books? We want opinions. So we're going to start with the beautiful Nellie.
Are we starting with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Nellie, we are.
Okay. I really like The Hunger Games. I don't think it really compared to the book. I felt like they left a lot out of the movie that was in the book. But it's still, I still liked it. I think it was a good adaptation.
Our connections probably aren't lining up.
Okay.
Okay.
You go next, Jen.
Well, I was just going to add on to what Kelly was saying.
Okay.
I love the Hunger Games and all that. The one thing I did like about the Hunger Games, the movies versus the books, is you at least got to see what was behind the scenes because it was interpreted. What I didn't like is who even gave her the pen was different than what was in the book. I don't know if any of y'all read the books or not, but in the actual book, somebody else gave her the pen in the movie. And, that things like that. I feel like this is like a horror film.
It's not a horror film. We're having weird interference. It's okay.
There's storms down here in Chattanooga, but it kind of bothers me when the meaning of the pen, for instance, changes drastically from written versus what's in the thing. But overall, I get that the movies can be like the book. They're always better.
Yeah.
Go for it, Alex.
Okay, so I recently, a movie, I want to talk about Vampire Diaries.
Ooh.
I started watching that show sporadically, and I totally forgot I read the books when I was younger. But it was during the time when it was just everything was vampire. Twilight had just come out. The sparkling really got to me, and I'm like, I'm not watching anything with vampires. Then Vampire Diaries came on. I gave it a chance. I loved it from the instant I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I read the books. Now the books and the movie the show is very different.
Yeah, very.
I think I really enjoyed the show better though.
I know, I did too. Is that bad?
Now, wasn't in the book?
It was, but not exactly. Some stuff that happens in the books is not entirely what happens in the show, but it's okay.
But the small details about the characters, like Elena in the book, remember she was a blonde girl, but in the show, Nina Dobrev has beautiful brown hair.
Yeah, I love
And I
it.
think that was a good move though, because
Yeah.
you know, I liked the fact that she was also not, your typical Caucasian. She was obviously, you could tell she had some sort of European ethnicity, and I liked that about it. I think they did a very good job of casting. I loved
they did
every
a good job of casting.
Yeah, I was really impressed. And I mean, the show did so well. It lasted so many seasons.
What was it, 8 or 9?
I think 9, I think.
Yeah, it was. I remember watching the pilot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mentioned that they had the original spinoff, and now they have
I love
Legacies.
that.
And
now they have Legacies. And I watch Legacies. I binge it every 3 or 4 episodes.
I love it. And I just think that was a really good idea of developmental, to follow it to a certain amount, change it sort of, and just keep going on. That was good.
I'm Team Stefan, y'all. I know you probably all love Damon.
I like my dark and twisty men like Damon Salvatore and Klaus Michelson. Hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Klaus.
I'm right there with
I'm Team Klaus, and I like Jeremy because he grew up and he turned out to be a badass hunter.
You just are saying that because he was hot.
That too.
All right, Elizabeth.
Okay. So mine is more contemporary. It's not really supernatural, but the book Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Am I saying her last name right? It destroyed me. It ripped out my heart and threw it on fire. And then I went with my friends to go watch the movie, and I noticed a few things were different than the book. It wasn't done bad, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have if it stuck to what was in the book. Yeah. I still cried my eyes out because I'm a baby.
I saw it because of obviously Daenerys, to see her in a different role compared to the movie.
I know, Emilia Clarke, girl crush.
But I agree with you. The book was devastating. It was so emotional and beautiful. The movie was beautiful in its own way, but it wasn't the same.
It wasn't as beautiful.
Exactly.
And I never read this book, but another show I love when I'm a guilty pleasures is Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, I watched that too. I never read the books though.
I didn't either.
I agree with you. I've read a couple of those books, and the show is so different from the books, but the show is good. It's entertaining. I'd rather read the books. I like reading books because I like to imagine in your head, who are these characters for you? And what do they look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, don't you ever feel disappointed when you're reading the book and you've got a character in mind and you make action and you're like, that's so not who I pictured for that character?
Yes and no. I mean, expectation-wise, it's not always going to be the same. We should all know that, right? But
right.
You see adaptation. Speaking to us.
It's kind of like when I talk. Maybe I should just stop talking.
No, we want you to talk. So, Nelly, any other books you can think of?
I'm trying to think. I know Red Sparrow was one, but I did not read the book. So I don't know if any of y'all read the book.
I haven't read the book, but I didn't
read the book, but you can bet your butts that I'm going to now because that's my favorite J-Law movie ever because she is fierce. Whoa. Hello, J-Law. Hello. I can remember her going, my uncle sent me to horse school. I can remember.
Sorry.
What about Riverdale?
Oh my God, yes, Archie. Hello.
Growing up, I watched some Red Archie comics. Just saying.
Let's talk about Riverdale since we're on the topic. Oh my God.
You taking photos again.
Why are you taking photos?
He just loves our faces.
It wasn't me. It was my cat.
Karma.
Stop it.
Karma.
Riverdale it's so not great. I mean, Archie is hot.
Wow, it's not great.
The cast is hot, but the books and that's so different.
They are.
I like what they're doing because it's darker. It's
Yes,
different.
and that's what I like about it. Because my dad is a comic book collector. So as a kid, I wasn't watching like Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I was watching Xena and reading Archie comics. So
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many he has in his basement. It's ridiculous. But naturally, I love this show because it's Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch because they're
the
all
new is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Divergent. Do you know how hard I was hoping that he didn't die at the end?
Okay, Divergent. The books were amazing. The movie,
Book 4 was awful.
I needed to drink a lot of coffee to stay awake.
I don't remember if I watched that, to be honest.
That's because it was so generic and it wasn't exciting.
Yeah, I probably forgot that I watched it. It sounds like it was boring from what y'all are saying.
I think the other reason why I didn't like Divergent very much, and you guys are going to laugh, is because it was hard to see the girl, Tris, play her character with her so-called brother after I watched them be lovers in The Fault in Their Stars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ansel Elgort. He's a singer now, guys.
I know. And also, Fault in the Stars, the book and the movie are very different, but I like them both. Since we're on that topic.
Yeah, I haven't read or watched that yet because I know I will sob my heart out. And I don't like to cry.
Do it. It's amazing.
Do it. Okay, I will go cry now.
Okay. No, save your tears for the movie for more dramatic effect.
Dramatic.
So are we guys going to talk about a different subject now? Because our viewers might be getting a little bit bored.
Well, that's not like, well, you know, I thought we would move into that more naturally.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Jump the gun, why don't you?
Sorry.
But, you know, go for it, Alex, since you
just go swing right in.
Sorry. So what should we talk about next? I think Jennifer should pick the next topic, only because on my screen, she's like prominent on my screen right now.
She's the boss, the HBIC.
You know, I didn't know what that meant for the longest.
Head bitch in charge?
My kids are not that far away.
Head boss in charge.
Yeah, that's it.
The bossy lady. I'm so bad doing this, guys. I'm sorry. I always drop bombs. When people watch this, they're going to be like, there Liz goes again.
Well, whenever you refer to me, I'm HQ in charge. No, head queen in charge.
Oh. I was thinking the same, John.
OMG. See what I have to put out with, guys? See?
We are funny. Oh, this is bad. We're a comedy show, too.
Yes, we're bringing you comedy from around the world, guys.
I know. I'm literally laughing so hard I'm getting cramps.
Oh, okay.
If I could have them, I would.
Oh Lord!
You'd be locked up right now. Don't even lie.
Let's move on.
Actually, since Jennifer said that comment, I do have another topic.
Okay, just go for it. Just go.
How about inclusion in books? We're talking about multigender, women empowerment. I'm really happy with. I noticed that that's a new thing this year, and I'm really happy with that. Like, it's nice to have a female as a heroine, and not just saying them as a side role. Like, I like the fact that for my books nowadays that I've been doing it, I've been having the female as the front and center and the male as a supporting character. And you know what? Sometimes I don't even have a male in it. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yes.
It's because, I think inclusion is important. I think equilibrium in a book is important. And then, I like the fact that everyone is doing such good books like that nowadays.
Yeah, because I feel like now we're all very like open-minded, and we want to see more. Like, for example, I have a storyline where I have a transgender woman, and I'm going to be releasing this book, and I don't know when, but I'm going to be taking my time on it because I want to do it the right way, and I want to make sure that I make transgender people proud when it comes out. So my readers have already been introduced to this person, and they don't know it yet.
But no, but how are you going to go about making them proud? I'm just asking. Like,
I want to make sure I have my research right in the process and through transition, because that's the part, like, really, I don't want to screw it up. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do your research. When you're writing about anything, you have to do your research. But I just don't want to be disgraceful or ignorant in my writing. You know what I mean?
I think that's a wonderful thing that you said that, Liz. I think research and respect come hand in hand. There's a lot of books I've read where characters, I feel like they haven't been thought of properly because people haven't, done their research or respected that character's either religion, background, or even sex, like if they're male or female. And I think it's important that we always do our research, even as authors, and respect the character because they're our character. Whenever I'm reading,
what?
Technical difficulty. So whenever I'm writing my characters, I always imagine that the person is a real person for me. Mm-hmm. So I pretend they're my friend, even if they're the antagonist. Yeah. And I always make sure that I'm writing them as I talk about my friend, like with respect. And I just think that's important for everybody. So I'm happy that you're doing your research. That's very important.
I can hear everyone now.
That's fantastic. So Jennifer, what about you? And what about you, Nellie? You're just so quiet in the corner there.
She's afraid to talk because of the noise.
Oh, it's not you. It's just Skype. It's not even Skype. I think it's just the fact that there's 4 awesome authors here right now, and the system just can't handle it.
They can't handle it. We're all great.
I mean, I think a lot of authors are creative. I know there's been a lot of reading for like person of color, main characters, and things like that. And a lot of authors are afraid to write them because they don't want to offend anybody. Yeah. They don't want to step on toes. And then all the readers are like, why can't we have more of that? And it's a scary step to take. Even research.
They could backfire on you.
Right. I think even with an extensive amount of research, it's something that can, it's a very touchy.
Oh, yeah. Like, I am terrified to write this book about my transgender girl. I am absolutely terrified to write it. But, like, I know in my heart I have to. Yeah. And,
Yeah, and kind of going on to what Kelly said. Like, Nellie. Nellie and I, we did a co-write about a witch, right? Fantasy, well, paranormal, straight up paranormal. And we got tore apart. Did we not?
Yeah.
Writing a witch.
Why?
That was just like a make-believe witch. And, if we get tore apart from that, it makes us more hesitant to try to branch out to do anything more risky.
Wait, why did you get torn apart, though? I'm not understanding.
What we put in there has not really fit. It doesn't really happen. Like, we had a few betas that actually were practicing witches that we thought we did some research on, and they were saying, no, colors don't work that way. Color, and we just got tore apart over the simple paranormal.
But it's fiction.
Exactly. But,
okay. On that topic, Jen, to answer you, I'm a Wiccan myself. Consider me a male witch, mage, or whatever you want to call it. When you're writing a book about these subjects, it's about imagination. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Sorry, I'm just doing a spell for the noise.
What is that?
Okay, so as I was saying, you're writing as an author, there's always going to be people who object to something. You cannot please everybody. Do whatever's passionate to you and Nellie. If you wrote that witch book, I'm excited to read it. I'm going to read it. not everything has to be exact. I mean,
Yeah.
there's people who read about dragons, there's people who read about mermaids. Do you think people know what a mermaid does? They only know what they see on TV. Those are also creative imagination. So I don't get this.
Yeah. I don't understand the hate or the negativity. It's all fiction.
Exactly. So readers, I'm not insulting any of you, but I'm going to say this. Use your imagination. The author's creating the story world for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be what you think it is, but everything is done in a different perspective. This is what authors do. We don't want to be generic. We don't want to be like everybody else. This is what sets us apart.
Yeah. It's our jobs to write these stories for our characters too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to give them the justice they deserve.
Right. And so, and I think, and Kelly, Nellie, I'm not trying to speak for you. Let's just jump in. But when you feel like you've offended people over something, so I don't want to say small because I get that that's not small, but when you offend somebody over something that's truly just some magic working in your world and in your head, you know what I mean? More real and really offensive and very into it's just you don't want to do
that. Who's going next?
I think it would be Nellie. She's too quiet.
Oh, she's so quiet, like a mouse.
I've been talking.
Well, Nellie, what do you think about that? What do you think about readers that bring to your attention things that you have written? Does that bother you? Do you agree with what I had said, that every author is different? We all interpret things differently.
I agree that we're all different. I mean, we're all individual people. We all have our own creative ideas and outlooks. And, like, we're writing this story because this is how we picture it in our mind. Like, we're writing this for our readers. It's also how we picture it. Yes, much.
Everything got so quiet.
It's because that noise was there, that ghost, the back.
I don't hear anything when you guys hear it.
Well, maybe
really?
Yeah, like I hear it some random times, but not like as bad as y'all are.
When it happens, so that's my sign.
Oh, you're a signal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
even as a reader myself, I'd like to escape into each individual author's, their different styles. That's why I love this author or I love that author, because they are them. I kind of know what to expect when I go into their books. But as a new author, you kind of go into it and you're like, well, what am I going to get? And, readers not going to picture everything how you're going to picture it.
Yeah. I guess everyone's hearing this weird noise except me.
So
you're in.
Maybe I'm a demonic spirit and I'm like screwing things up and I don't even know it.
Well, you're two favorite things.
Well, they're not my favorite things. I just happen to write about them a lot because they need to be discussed.
So let's talk about something else that I wanted to talk about. What do we talk about? Writing stuff that is, topics
risque.
that are kind of like, risque. Exactly. Doesn't have to be, sexual. There's other topics that can be risque. You writing about a transsexual, lead, right?
Yes.
That could be risque, right?
I think it is considered risque, but I don't think it necessarily should be.
No, exactly. And that's one thing I don't like about it. There's a lot of topics that people don't like to talk about. Game of Thrones has done incest. That's risque, but they did it. And apparently people still love the show. Yeah. I just don't understand why, it's not fair to do that. Like, it's fun. It's a good idea. to do that because it's expression. It's a way of doing it. Jen's shaking her head, so I'm shaking my head.
I don't hear any of it.
Okay, so anyways, let's talk about something else. How long have each of you guys have been writing for? Jen, how long have you been writing?
A little over a year.
And
Mine's about the same.
I've been writing for 3 years, but 2 as Elizabeth coming up in May.
I've been writing for about 3 years as well. And I've always been just Alex H. Singh because that's actually my name, guys.
Yeah.
Don't stalk me. Don't stalk me. Oh, there she
Don't
is.
stalk him. He's fire.
No, you
I'm
can stalk me.
gonna stalk all over that.
Let's talk about another thing. Do attractive cover models distract you from their character on books?
No, I would say no. That's a definite no, because your cover models are like your representation, your visualization for the character, for the readers.
Even if they have erect nipples.
Huh? Even if they have a redneck voice, is that what you said?
I'll tell you why I brought this topic up.
Okay.
You guys saw my new cover for The Second Husband, which a lot of the others haven't seen yet.
Oh my God, it's so hot.
I know, that's a problem. I showed it to a couple of people and they're like, how am I supposed to take this book serious when the guy is so attractive?
What?
And I found that kind of weird. Like, why would you say that? And then one of my other covers, they're like, well, the girl is so pretty. How can I focus on this thinking that it's a horror book when she's so beautiful?
Okay, I'm sorry for my facial reactions, but that is ridiculous.
I've never heard anything like that before.
It's ridiculous. I was surprised. I'm like, I've never heard that before, and I never thought about that. The whole point is making the cover what you envision. Exactly.
Attractive.
Yeah.
I mean, eye-catching. You
Yeah,
want
like,
it to grab a reader's attention so that they take a step further and
Yeah.
read the work and maybe buy the book. Right?
Exactly. I just thought that was funny. I wanted to know if you guys ever encountered that before.
Well, I mean,
Liz.
yeah, not really. Huh?
Besides the red nipple incident.
What are you talking about?
Erect nipples.
Erect nipple.
Oh. Okay. I showed everyone in here my cover of Widow for Reaper's MC number 4, and Jen pointed out how my model and friend Rob has erect nipples. I didn't notice. I don't look at Rob's nipples. I know, but apparently everyone else does.
Well, it's kind of like
And now
a
I can't unsee it.
I think Liz, you know what you should do? You should put the title of the book and then have an eye and have his nipple as the top of the eye. You know?
I'm sure he's gonna watch this and be like, what? Or die laughing. Because our talk show has turned into a comedy hour.
You know what? Why not? I don't know why people have the perceive, and when people find out I'm an author, and I'm sure you guys have this, people's attitudes change. Suddenly they're think you're either very intelligent or they think no, there's a variety of things. Either they think you're so intelligent or they think you don't work. They treat you like you don't know how to, you don't have a job.
Yeah, they treat you like you're like an actor.
Yeah, or that. And I'm thinking, that's not the case, guys. An author is a person that just has a world stuck in their mind, and we need to get it out. Multiple worlds.
I've had somebody tell me, I've had somebody be like, wow, I didn't know you were capable of that.
Oh, I've had that too.
Oh,
Me too.
Thanks.
So what do you think I am? Just a dumb blonde?
I know. That's funny. I had a gentleman who will not be named who I was kind of seeing, not exactly. And when he found out it was an author, he just said, oh, okay. He wasn't interested. But then he went on my Amazon page and saw, he's like, oh, you're a legit author. That really upset me. Every author is legit regardless of what they publish, guys and girls.
Yeah.
You're
a legit one. What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means. Do you guys know what that means?
I guess
it must mean you're up to a certain caliber to meet his expectations of being an author.
Maybe you
even if you write a page, like a Kindle book of a page or something, and you publish it, you did that on your own. You're an author, and that's fantastic. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah.
I love the positivity right now. It's beautiful.
But that's another thing we should talk about, guys. Positivity.
Oh, I love it.
Uniformity, working together, authors together. It's not just authors, readers too. If you're a reader of any of our novels or anybody's novels, and you know the author, you're on their Facebook, you follow them on Twitter, if you don't like something, I'm sure the author wouldn't mind you contacting them to tell them, this is what I read, this is what I like, this is what I suggest. We like suggestions, guys. It's important.
Keeps you guys happy.
It not
we
only
like feedback. We want to hear what you want to read too. I mean,
exactly.
Now let's be careful. The four of us like feedback.
Not everyone wants feedback, but you know what?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is this. There are authors out there who don't realize that some of their readers may not like something. So they should encourage them to, like, the readers to contact them, because if they don't, a reader might post something negative and then it becomes a big storm on social media. You know what I mean?
The difference about the four of us, then not everyone, a lot of but we interact with readers.
Y'all are bobbing your heads, and I'm just over here like, okay, I hear nothing.
No, but I know what you're saying, Jen, and I agree with you. Some authors don't want to be contacted. They're just fine. That's their prerogative. But I think the reason why I find it safe is because it avoids the reader posting a rant about something they didn't like. That's all. It's about keeping the peace between the readers and the author.
I mean, I'd rather know personally. Like, I just released a book. I released Reclusive, which is one of the last books in one of my MC series. And I had one of my bloggers who has been with me since the very beginning, since my second book, and I love her to death. And she was like, I felt like your epilogue was rushed, because I never do epilogues that are 16 years later or anything like that. I'm not a girl who jumps time. But this book was so personal to me. And I think because I had parts of me in it, I knew I needed to write it so that my readers could see in the future they were okay. And even though sometimes death may occur, people move on and move forward with that. But I didn't take it in a negative way that she said it to me. I was just kind of I was so nervous about the release because I pushed the date the release date back twice. And I was so nervous about it, but I want to know things like that. I want people's input.
Yeah. I'll just tell you, if you read a book and you don't like it, the one thing that is good for an author is, even if you hate the book, if you could at least say something you liked, whether it's this scene was funny or I connected to this character when this happened. It's always nice to put at least something positive in with it. But tell us what you thought. I love it because writing is a journey. You're going to always be improving. Always. And so when we get feedback like that, it just helps us on our journey.
It helps us tremendously.
It really does. Because
even if I have a negative comment or review, do what's a comment sandwich type thing, where you compliment, put your negative in with the positive, right? So you soften the blow of the negativity that you're giving.
I agree. No, I agree with Nicole. I mean, Nellie. I agree with this. I think it just helps authors, as an author, and I'm sure all of you agree with us, we're not just writing for us. We're writing for the readers. We're writing because there's a world in here that if we don't get it out, we're going to go crazy.
Yeah, and the characters too.
Yeah, that too. Once we start a character, I feel oh my God, if I don't do the second book, they're not going to live. I need to continue the journey. So
They're just
like
dead in your mind unless you write it down.
exactly, and no one wants a dead character fetus in their mind, guys.
Character fetus.
I've got to finish my 4th book because right now she only has 3 of the elements in her. If she doesn't get the 4th one, she's not balanced and she will implode.
Well, that's not good, Jen. She can't explode. We can't have that happen. You have to like get on that right away.
That was so intense. I didn't know what to
She's
say.
gonna explode.
Okay, so something fun for everybody then,
Ooh,
guys.
nice. Yes.
Okay, so we're each going to pick an alcoholic beverage, and then each of us are going to think of a genre that goes with that beverage.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick the drink, and each one of you are going to pick the genre. So mimosa.
Who are you?
Mimosa?
Mimosa.
Makes me think
Yeah.
of contemporary romance.
Me too. I agree. I was thinking romance.
Dang.
I like that, girls.
Yeah.
Okay, next. You go next, Nelly. You pick an alcoholic beverage, and we'll pick the genre.
Margarita.
Ooh.
Frozen.
See,
like
frozen or stirred?
Frozen.
Oh,
frozen.
well, then I think of a tropical
Yeah.
spy thriller
Really?
or romance.
I'm thinking like a mommy romance.
A
Oh.
mommy romance?
Yeah, like hot dad next door.
Oh, can you tell him to call me?
Okay.
Are we just going to do contemporary romance the whole time? Okay.
I guess so. I'm so like not experienced when it comes to contemporary. I'm just like subgenre.
Okay. And what about you, Liz? You picked the alcoholic beverage now.
Well, I talked about whiskey earlier.
Well, obviously cowboy or
Yeah.
even mafia. I like the idea of a mafia.
I think of mafia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better.
Mafia.
Yeah.
That could be any, but you could do mafia paranormal, mafia contemporary. You could go anywhere.
Yeah.
I like that idea of a man in a pinstripe suit stirring his whiskey.
At the hotel bar.
And if you're out there and you're an actual reader, call me. I'm single, guys. I have to find a husband soon. Anyway, Jen, it's your turn.
Ooh, okay, I gotta think of a good one. Long Island iced tea.
Ooh, a beach romance.
Definitely beach romance, or even about somebody who works way too much and just needs to get away.
Yeah, like maybe millionaires. Like maybe like a destination
I can
romance.
hear you. What, Kelly? I'm looking at Kelly. Nelly.
And an enemies to lovers trope.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
like that.
I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, so next drink. Let's think of tequila shots.
Hello. I'm thinking like I'm in love with my best friend's brother.
And the best
Is that
friend.
our love triangle?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I like a good love triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not drunk.
I was
No.
also thinking about
It's
a
gotta
breakup.
have the right amount of touch, you know.
Yeah.
Beads.
And then I always feel with love triangles that the author can never win because you've got readers that don't want the one that's not picked and readers that
Yeah.
want the one that was picked. You know,
Yeah.
you can't win with a love triangle.
Well, you kind of can unless you clone the main character, and now there's two of her.
Oh,
Or
wow.
him.
There is that.
Dang, that's some sci-fi shit right there.
Okay, so Jen, you go next.
Ah.
Next alcoholic beverage.
How about let's see. I don't drink. Jaeger shot.
Jaeger? That's definitely like a southern romance, like a biker club. That's like a southern MC. Get those Jaeger shots, boys.
I hate
Okay.
Jaeger.
Ryan's Bed by
Jen?
T.J.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nelly, your turn. Alcoholic beverage.
Oh. What about a gin and tonic?
Ooh,
Ooh.
I would think like one of those boss ladies in her office drinking a gin and tonic. She just scored a big deal.
Yeah, and she wants to sleep with her intern.
Oh, she
So like
did.
an office romance?
She already did.
Oh, now she's gonna sleep with her boss.
Exactly. Well, she is the boss.
Yeah, she's
But she has to have a boss. Like, there got to be another boss, right? And she's a girl.
True. True. A woman can never. She can have whoever she wants.
I like it. Powerhouse.
Secretary.
How long have we been recording?
Oh,
40 minutes and 9 seconds.
Okay.
it's a great topic,
It's a
though.
great show.
Okay, so Liz, next alcoholic beverage.
A Manhattan.
Ooh.
In a Manhattan. I don't even
I
know.
would think. I would think a New York romance just because it has Manhattan.
I'm thinking like billionaire.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, like yeah, definitely someone rich on a cruise.
Oh, I got a good one.
What is it?
You didn't say it had to be a real drink.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be a real drink.
What about Dragon's Breath?
An evil queen about to decimate a whole kingdom.
Well, that's
Ooh.
high fantasy right there. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So high epic fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think of a drink that's gonna stoop you all, guys.
Ooh.
Hot chocolate with Baileys.
That's called I'm Cold on a Summer Night. Or not summer, winter night.
Christmas, yeah, that's a Christmas story. Right?
I promise it's just coffee, y'all.
If you're cold in the summer night, you need to go to the doctor.
That's where you get your medical romance. Good idea.
Oh, no, that's actually a good idea.
Oh,
We just made a new thing, guys.
we did just get cold on a summer night and just go to the doctor.
Okay, Jen, it's your
Now, we
turn.
want to hear from our audience too, right?
Oh, yes. So we're each of us are gonna pick a drink, and audience, you guys are gonna reply as to what genre you think would best fit it. And if we each like that, for me in particular, I will use your genre and I will mix that drink in the next book I do.
Ooh, look at you go.
So let's
Okay,
pick a genre.
I have mine. I have my drink.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say a Russian mule.
Okay. And yourself, Jen?
What is that? What is it? Sweet and sour. What is it? Sweet and sour whiskey.
A whiskey sour.
Whiskey
That's
sour. Thank you.
Dang it, Jen, you stole mine. You stole it. All right, Alex, you're gonna have to go because now I'm gonna have to think of a new one.
Okay. I was gonna say vodka cran.
Ooh, that's my go-to.
Me too.
Okay, a mojito.
I'm a mojito.
Ooh, hello.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, you heard that, guys. We gave you 4 drinks. We expect genres, and I will announce the winner next week at the same time, same place, same Skype channel.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Definitely, and hopefully the ghost is not there.
I know. To be continued.